Good morning. So today I am sharing a 4-color eye look, and these are core colors that we use in our Mary Kay collection. Okay, so we have a list of core colors that are ones that can be used every day and also ones that can be used alongside of more on trend colors, cream eye colors, things like that are also in our line. So today what we're using is colors called excuse me. Okay, it's called Moonstone, Golden Mauve, Dusty Rose, and where's the other one? Right here, Merlot. So these are the colors that we will be using today. The first thing I'm going to do, however, is I always put a base color on. And our two base colors are what you see here. We have Blossom and Biscotti. Blossom is more of a cool tone. Biscotti is a warm tone. Today, with the colors that we are using, I'm using Blossom. This is a matte color. I love to put a matte color on first because when I use a matte color and I put it on first, then everything else blends into it. So I'm going to take the Blossom and I'm placing it all over my eye area, including lid and up into the brow bone. That's right. Okay, now I am going to work with the other 4 colors I talked to you about. The first color that I'm going to be using today in those 4 colors that we were talking about is I'm going to be using the Golden Mauve. So I'm going to be taking the Golden Mauve, excuse me, and I'm actually what they call patting into the Golden Mauve, and I am placing that on my eyelid. I'm patting into the Golden Mauve, pat, 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 and then patting it onto my eyelid because it gives it more base. It gives it more color when you pat instead of brush. So there we go. We have the Golden Mauve on the eyelid. Then I use my handy dandy cloth, as I always do, and I clean off my brush, okay? And I am going to, now this was an all over color brush I used for the first 2. I am now switching to what we call our blending brush. And our blending brush will be used for the next 2 colors. The next 2 colors that I'm using is I am going to be using the Dusty Rose, and that is going to be going into the crease, just like a windshield washer. Woo, 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 woo. Just like that. See? What that does is it creates more depth and dimension. Okay, so I'll take it again, and as I said, I love simplicity. Like you're going 4 colors, I know, but you can make it 3. You don't, if you don't want to use them all, you don't have to. You don't have to use the accent color I'm going to show you next. Okay, or you don't even need to use the highlighter color if you don't want to either. Okay, but this is kind of giving you one where, I want to make this a little bit more fun. Okay, so there we go. We have our Dusty Rose. Okay, as we see in the crease. The next color I am working with is the Merlot. This is going to be my accent color. So you're going to see my Merlot, and my Merlot is going right here in the outer corner in the crease, outer corner in underneath along the eye, right in there. That is our Merlot. Give it a little bit here. Okay, here we go. A little bit, woo, look at that, of a nice little accent, a little smoky eye. So I'm gonna go and blend this in. Blend, 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 blend. Blending is so important. Okay, see that? And then I'm gonna take a little bit. Let's do the other side so we look even. Okay, a little bit, here we go. We got our Merlot right in there. Okay, can you see that? See, whoa. We're just on right here, right at the, not too far out, okay? We don't want it too far out. We're doing it right in here. And in a little bit to the crease, right? In a little bit to the eyelid, a little bit along the bottom. There we go. Kind of gives you that smoky eye look. We don't look too smoked, so we're blending it all real pretty. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna finish up. We're going back to our, excuse me, all over color brush, which again, I cleaned on my handy dandy cloth. And I am taking the Moonstone, right here, the Moonstone, and I'm taking a little bit of that, and where I'm placing it is right up here, right underneath the eyebrow. Okay? See that? Yeah. Yeah, doesn't that look great? Right underneath the eyebrow. You see that? Right in there. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. Look at that. There you go. Now, remember how I said about blend, blend, blend? I'm going back, cleaning off my blending brush really good, and just kind of all over the eye area. Just kind of putting everything, look, smoothing it all out. There we go. Now, that was a 5-color eye look, but you can choose whichever you want. So first I did all over the eye area. I did a blossom, which is a matte eye finish. Then I used golden motto on the lid, okay? A matte dusty rose in the crease, and a matte merlot out through here. And then for highlight, I used a shimmer, which is moonstone. So there you go. And how am I finishing this off? Well, for today, I'm finishing this off with a black waterproof eyeliner. And then I'm going to use some Lash Intensity mascara. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Hope you love this video. Any questions? Pop them below. Please feel free to subscribe. We'd love to have you a part of our community here in Simply Beautiful. Bye.